This is Philly, and we don't say good morning here, dickhead. We don't play that shit here. We'll shoot you in your shit.
What's good, smoke screeners? This is Rothstein, and we are back with another banger. So today, I already told y'all it's gonna be a story time, and this story time is actually about one of my best friends, Nicholas Kiek. He passed away at the age of 8 when we were growing up. So but before we get into all of that, you already know the proper protocol and procedures that we must partake on. So today we're leaving the glass blunt in its case, and we just gonna rock out with this bowl that we have here. It works wonderful. It's called Moon Boots. So I'm gonna put that picture right here, man. This is a beautiful plant full of trichomes. Beautiful, like it smells great. The smoke is awesome. If I had to rate it from 1 to 10, I would probably give it a 9.5. We smoking good, just straight good, nothing less. No Reggie over here, headache free, man. We don't want to partake on nothing that's getting us upset or having our lungs collapsing or just giving us migraines. If you're a Reggie smoker, plan on watching this video, it'll be uploaded by the time you get back from CVS from getting that Tylenol. So yesterday I did a video about the Aiden Ross and 21 Savage situation. So far, you know, I've gained a few subscribers off of that, so that's good. Thank you to any and everybody who subscribed. It's a huge help. It helps me out tremendously. What would this be without choking? God dang. Alright, we're jumping into it. So I was born in Philadelphia. It was me, my mother, my 3 sisters. My oldest sister, she ended up moving to Texas, you know, when we were younger. Then my youngest sister and my second oldest sister, they stayed with my mom, you know what I mean, when she sent me to go live in Jersey with essentially people that I didn't even know. It was just the way that it was done that, you know, kind of affected me growing up. A lot more standoffish. I didn't trust people. I was very paranoid. You know, because when you coming from somewhere like especially Philadelphia, an inner city where it's nothing but noise, traffic, dogs, kids, like, you know, just constant noise, and then, you know, you get taken out of your environment and you're sent to live in another state, and it's just like Jersey is so quiet. It's quiet, man. Like, you'll hear birds chirping. You won't really hear people for the most part, but it was just a very uneasy time, you know what I mean, in my life. And the way, like I said, the way that it was done, you know, I'm outside roller skating with my sisters. I still remember like it was yesterday. I'm 7 years old, and then my mom calls me to the porch. I was this huge black dude there, like never seen him a day in my life. She was like, yeah, this is your dad, you're gonna go live with him. Something like that, just like that, bro. It was no discussion. It was no asking me about how I felt about the situation. It was none of that. It took a hassle to get me in the car. Once I got in the car, you know what I mean, calmed down, my nose was bleeding, I ended up falling asleep, woke up, I'm in Jersey. It's this old lady, and then this, you know, my uncle, who's, you know, my dad's brother. Now mind you, these aren't my biological parents. Like that's not my biological dad, you know what I mean, but it's somebody who took the initiative to step up and take care and raise a child that wasn't even his own. From what my mom told me, it was basically so I could have a better upbringing, because she knew how it was for males growing up in Philadelphia, you know what I mean, as opposed to, you know, like a suburban area. Honestly, I would say that's probably the single most loving thing that my mother has ever done for me, ever in my life, even though it was a scary situation. Man, I struggled in Jersey, man. I struggled just to do the bare minimum. Struggled because I didn't have my sisters anymore. It was just me And I'm here, you know, in the field of void, they would try to like buy me shit. Like they would buy me PlayStation, like Sega when that came out. I had it. I had Game Boy. I had like anything a kid wanted, bro. Like I had it. I didn't have everything, but I had, you know, what I wanted. That's not really what I wanted. Materialistic wise, yeah, that was cool. But when it came to up here and here, I didn't have it. Something was severely lacking. You know, as the years passed and I got acclimated to where I was, like I said, I struggled in school. Then, you know, my grades got a little better. My dad, at that time, he was dating this woman. I'm gonna call her Miss J. I don't really want to, you know, I didn't ask her permission to ask, you know, put her name on. So Miss J, you know, she was dating my father. You know, she had a son. His name was Nicholas. Real cool dude, man. They lived up in Mount Ephraim, New Jersey. If anybody knows where that is, that's actually the outskirts, like, of Camden, New Jersey. They lived directly across the street from the Barb's Harley Davidson and right next door to Swimmoor Pools, if anybody knows what that is. My dad, you know, he used to take me out there every week when he go to see her, you know what I mean, and meet me and the son, you know, gotta like him. Like, he was cool. Like, he was a real cool dude. Like I said, played football, super genius in chess. Never seen anybody play chess, especially at a young age like that. He was 8 playing chess, and he was wicked nice, man. Like, and he was going to tournaments and all that. Like, he was moving pieces without even thinking. That was extraordinary. So my dad and his mom, they had this habit of, what they would do is each summer, well, during the summer, they rented this, it was a beach house in Wildwood. So we would go there, you know, chill, relax, man, nice road trip, you know, chilling. Like, we'd go out places, Dave & Buster's, you know, shit like that. So as time progressed, he became my best friend. Now, mind you, he's called Cajun, being from Philly, and then, you know, back then, like, it wasn't the area that we lived in. There wasn't a lot of white people. I moved to Jersey, and that's all you pretty much saw was just Caucasian. And when I became his friend, I didn't see color, you know what I mean? I really never saw color to begin with, but he's cool, and we're gonna rock out. So, you know, we used to do everything together, man. Like I said, every weekend we go over there, we chilling. He was a huge Dallas Cowboys fan, man. He had all the memorabilia, posters, signed footballs, everything, just cool. They decided to take us to this, it was a lake. Clinton, New Jersey, I believe it was. It's called Clinton Run, or I think it's Clinton, New Jersey. I might have to check that button. It was like an outing, you know. These little swimming beaches, crowded out there. I'm talking about, never seen so many white people in my life. It was crowded, you know. It looked like a little shindig, and it was cool. It was fun. It was me, him, my dad, his mother, his older cousin, his aunt, and a few other people that came along with us. So, you know, as kids do, like, you know, we running in the water, coming back, bothering the parents, stuff like that. Now, mind you, Nick suffered from seizures. He had a long history of seizures. And as a kid, I didn't really know anything about seizures. I didn't know how serious they were. And I remember one time actually seeing him have a seizure, and his mom had to come and, you know, do what she had to do to make sure he was cool. But that was the first time in my life I've ever seen somebody having a seizure, period, and it was scary. So we on the beach, you know, playing, running, jumping, swimming and playing, everything. We playing Marco Polo. And mind you, Nick was an excellent swimmer. He would go over to his parents' house every weekend, every other weekend to go swimming. They had a huge swimming pool, right? He was active. Me and his cousin, we throwing the rings. So next thing I know, I toss a ring, I see his cousin pop up. I'm like, Marco's cousin, like Polo, looking for, you know, Nick somewhere. Like, but mind you, it's crowded. So we just thinking, all right, like he's probably off somewhere. We swimming amongst the crowd in the water, not seeing him. We come back to where we initially were, still don't see him. This time we go up to the beach. We're like, do you see Nick? We haven't seen him, No, nobody's seen him. So, you know, we go back in the water. Everything is cool. I kid you not. I dove under the water to looking for him. Now, I didn't plan on really finding him. I just thought that, you know what I mean, like, he may have been swimming. I dive in, and as I reached the bottom, like the lake was a type of lake where the water, it was like cedar water, so it was like that reddish brown, but it's actually good for you. You know, underneath, when you open your eyes, you can see about this much in front of you, and the closer you get to the bottom, it's kind of murky and, you know, foggy because of the sand underneath that's getting kicked up. So as I dive in, I see like a shape of like a body. So I dive a little bit deeper and I notice it's him. And I, you know, at that time I'm just like, man, he's like an excellent swimmer to hold his breath this fucking long. Excuse me. Yeah, so I said he must be an excellent swimmer to hold his breath that long. I went down, you know, I swam down further, and I touched him, you know what I mean, like you know, in the water it's easy to turn stuff around, so when I turned him around, like I'm looking at his face, his eyes are just wide open, man, like they wide open. And that's something, man, to like have that image in your head for years, and it's so clear. It's clearer than the most clearest picture I've ever taken. It was frightening, man, and at that time I didn't know what to do. I swam to the top, his cousin's sitting there, and I'm like, yo, he's under the water, like, you know, he drowned. We run, you know, back up to the beach, right? We alert, you know, and as kids, you should have just alerted the lifeguard, but my brain is so in a fucking scramble, you just go to what you know as being safety, which was the adults. So ran over to my dad and his mom, told him, oh my God, when I tell you his mom, the way she jumped up and ran, like I don't even think, like, you know how like when you get out your chair, your feet gotta push your body up, bro. Like when she got up, like flew, like she just flew like to the water. It was crazy. She ran in the water. My dad went to the lifeguard, told him what was happening. I remember just hearing whistles blowing, people yelling, telling, you know, that everybody get out the water. They get everybody out the water, and now we see lifeboats and everything, and it's just like dead silent. It was so crowded in there, man. It was like being at Six Flags. In the next instance, it's quiet, eerily quiet. They pull him out the water. They get him to the beach, and they start performing CPR. My fault, y'all. They start performing CPR. First time in my life I've ever seen this being done. Pumping his chest in water is just squirting out his nose, his mouth, and it's mixed with blood. That's all I'm seeing is blood, water, from, you know, what I was hearing. And then when I read later in the article, they actually got a pulse. They had a pulse. So he was living. And the first person to render aid to him was this other lady on the beach who was a paramedic. She got a pulse, and they kept the pulse all the way to the hospital where he ultimately died. You don't really think about the dangers of anything, especially when you're little. I could jump off a building and I would be A-okay, because Spider-Man, he died at 8 and I was 7, and I've held that with me all the way, you know, for my entire life. Like, I'm 36. This happened when I was 7. And then, like I said, a year prior to that, it was already too much for my brain to comprehend, because I was just pretty much snatched up and taken somewhere to live. I was just pretty much done with life. Like, after he passed, bro, I didn't want to do nothing. I didn't want to have fun. I didn't want no friends. I didn't want nothing. It took me a long time before I could really just be normal again. At that time that he died, me and him were actually going to summer school together. He was going to play chess. I was going because I couldn't pronounce breakfast to save my life. It's funny, but yeah, man, we used to catch that bus. They used to pull up to his crib. We used to jump on the bus, go to summer school, come back home to his house, chill. Like, man, when I had to catch that bus after he passed, right after he passed. I'm talking about a couple days. And like I said, like I'm at his house at this point, you know what I mean? And we're upstairs chilling, like the shit that we used to just chill and do. And then now it's just me in his room. That was too much, man. That was so hard to take, for real. It was a lot. It was a whole lot. I jumped on that bus. Everybody looked at me like I was supposed to be performing something, you know what I mean? And it got too hard to keep going to that summer school, so my dad took me out, and shortly after that, I'm back home, man. Like, let me back up a little bit, but right after he passed, like the day that they took him to the hospital, after, you know, they said they still had a pulse, they told me to go with his cousin that was there, you know, so I went to his cousin's house while my dad and Nick's mom went to the hospital. And that whole day, I just couldn't do nothing, man. It wasn't fun to me. Like, his his cousin's two little sisters, like, they're just chilling, not knowing what's happening. They weren't even there, but they were huge fans of Criss Cross. It was crazy. This is the first time I've seen Criss Cross or heard about Criss Cross. I just couldn't function. They went to get ice cream. I didn't want any. You know what I mean? They sitting there looking at movies. Mind you, it's me and his little sister now over at his cousin's house, like I said. So I'm waiting for my dad to arrive with Nick's mom. They pull up. The look on their face, I already knew it was over. It was over. It was over. I don't even think they said anything to me. The only thing I think they really said was, let's go. We ended up going back to his mother's house. So the news is on, there's news flashes about it happening, and it was a terrible time. And then having to sleep in his room by myself, you know what I mean? Like, the game that we used to play, the toys we used to play with, overall fun. Now, living in Philadelphia, you should not be a Cowboys fan, being as though that was his favorite team. I will never be a fan of the Dallas Cowboys, but every time I see anything dealing with the Dallas Cowboys, it definitely makes me think of Nick. I mean, we grew up, this fucking fly is annoying as shit. Anyway, we grew up in the era of Little Giants. If anybody remembers that movie, that was one of our favorite movies. Now he's gone, and I just kind of had to continue on my life and just make the best of what I could and just stay as level-headed and as positive as I could. I did more wrong than right. But nowadays, I'm just trying to right those wrongs. Just live happily, man. Like, just live comfortable. Two main goals. That's why this camera is on, and that's why I'm sitting my ass right here. Because I should have been doing it for real, and I shouldn't have let other people dictate if I'm going to be successful or not. That was my fault. But anywho, man, sorry we didn't hit y'all with too much green this time, man. I just wanted to really get that story out. It was a very hard time in my life, man. You know, but I'm still ticking and I'm still going. And I'm still growing. So I can keep knowing. Like, real rap, man. And I thank everybody so far that has been in my corner, that is helping me do anything, you know what I mean? Especially without being asked to do it. I appreciate y'all, the viewers, from the bottom of my heart, man. And I hope this channel grows to be really how I want it to be. Only time will tell. Only thing I need to be doing is staying consistent. And I'll definitely be doing that. But man, I really appreciate y'all. Thanks for letting me ramble. Thanks for letting me, like, just say that, yo. Like, because even if nobody really watches this video, it has taken a load off of me. So there will be a lot more story times to come, because if you think that story was crazy, you ain't heard shit yet. All in all, man, I want to thank y'all. This is Rothstein, the smoke screen. Like and subscribe, please, I'm begging.
And we out. Good morning here, dickhead. We don't play that shit here. We'll shoot you in your shit here.